we must talk about the big trade, the massive trade.
We already talked about Rafael Devers. What trade are you talking about?
I'd argue a bigger trade, as bad a take as that
Muscle
may be.
hamster getting dealt? Is that what you're telling me?
You feel like you and I take turns, like giving bad takes on different shows. I feel
all
we
the
do
time.
that.
All the time.
I feel like you have a take, and I'm like, that's stupid.
That's just
And then
a
I
bad
give a
take.
take, and you're like, that's stupid.
Yeah, I mean, Desmond Bane's a good player, but I'm a little I don't disagree with the sport impact because one guy can have a bigger impact. But, like, Rafael Devers is one of the best third basemen in all of baseball.
Not according to the Red Sox. The Orlando Magic have made a trade with the Memphis Grizzlies. The Magic will get Desmond Bane. The Grizzlies, in return, will get Contavious Caldwell-Pope. Thank you for signing. See you later. You did nothing for us. Cole Anthony, who's been a good role guy for them since they drafted him. The number 16 pick in this year's draft. The 2026 first pick, which is Phoenix, via Phoenix. 2028 first-round pick. 2029 first-round pick swap. And a 2030 first-round pick. 4 picks.
4 first-round picks.
Well, pick swap, 5 total with the pick swap, Cole Anthony and KCP. And in return, Orlando gets Desmond Bane. We'll never forget. Where were you when you found out Desmond Bane was a Magic?
I kind of sat down and started crying because it made me realize that another trade can't happen that I've been praying to happen for the last couple of years, and it's clearly out the window now. And once my emotions settled on the tears over that, I then turned to laughter of the idea of trading 4 first-round picks for Desmond Bane.
Why?
Desmond Bane.
Yeah?
4 first-round picks.
Yeah.
Like
The Phoenix pick is, that's a good pick.
That's
2026 could be a good pick.
That's a really good pick.
If Phoenix blows it up, that could be a good pick.
Kevin Durant's going to get traded any second now. Check your calendar; it's going to happen any moment.
Yep.
They're going to be left with one player left. Bradley Beal's not going to go anywhere, and he's going to go down with a ship there in Phoenix.
So you care about the 2028 or the 2030?
I mean, just 4 first-round picks in general for Desmond. Desmond Bane's a good player.
Mikal Bridges went for 5.
It doesn't mean that it was a good trade.
I mean, the Knicks got to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Look, I'm not saying anything there, but now they've hamstrung themselves to not have any capital this offseason to do what?
What do you mean?
Are the Knicks going to be able to make any big trades this offseason?
I don't know what the Knicks are going to do. They don't have a coach.
They don't have a coach, and they can't talk to a coach currently. They keep getting linked to different guys. It's like, dude, you traded all of your picks for Mikal Bridges. You don't have any picks left anymore.
Hey, you could trade your players.
You could trade your players. Okay, so the guy you traded a ton for last offseason and Karl Anthony Towns, you're going to deal him now and just spin him off in the next offseason? Look, Desmond Bane is a good player. I don't want to be disrespectful to the muscle hamster of the NBA. 4 first-round picks for Desmond Bane is absurd. It's absurd.
Why is it absurd?
He's a good player. I don't know if he's a number 2 on a championship team. And
I'm not asking him to be a number 2.
I don't even know if they have
number 3 on this team.
Who's your number 2?
Franz or Paolo, depending on how you feel about him.
Okay, so is Franz or Paolo a number 1 and a number 2?
According to the Orlando Magic, they are. They extended Franz with a $200 million deal, and Paolo Banchero is obviously going to be a guy they're going to extend and give him the max.
Without a doubt.
So, yes, I would say Orlando views that as, yes, that's their 1-2. However they sort that, I don't know. I would lean it's probably Paolo, Franz. But on any given night, Franz can be a 1 and Paolo could be a 2.
This is a 41-41 team in a bad Eastern Conference.
Yeah, they had no offense.
They had no offense.
Their offense completely disappeared. It didn't exist. They played good defense. The problem with Orlando is their three-point shooting. They were one of the worst three-point shooting teams. They ranked last in three-point percentage last year.
That's really bad.
Desmond Bane shoots 41%.
There you go.
He ranks 3rd in the NBA since he got into the league in catch-and-shoot threes. I would imagine Franz and Paolo will be having the ball, driving and kicking to Desmond Bane.
Desmond Bane.
Knock down those shots.
Knocking down those threes.
I'm a little surprised because, one, I haven't. Okay, so the pick thing is interesting because I think we all have had to evolve our thinking on this. And I think national pundits and local pundits alike have had to do that. It does look like a lot for a non-all-star player.
Never been an all-star. Never will be an all-star.
I'm not going to say never will be.
He's not
I have no idea. What I would say is, are you best to operate in trying to capitalize on young talent that you have now, or say, oh, but we can't lose our pick from 5 years from now? Because I don't care about a 2031st.
Sure, it's not just that one. It's the 3 other ones that they included and the 4th.
I don't care about my 2029 first-round swap. I don't care about my – if I'm building this team in that conference, sure. I don't care about my 2028. It's probably going to be a 20th pick or later.
Sure.
And the only valuable one really, outside of having this year's 16th pick, if you value that, is next year's Phoenix pick, which that may prove to be a good pick. I'll give you that, but you got to trade some good stuff to get a good player.
This is all going under the idea that Banchero will remain happy and they're going to go on playoff runs, and you'll never get to the point where he is a star once out of Orlando, because that's part of it as well.
But we don't have any intel that that's the deal. If they pay him the max contract, he'll be a $300 million player. I think everybody will be happy in Orlando for $300 million.
Sure, if you're winning in the playoffs.
Yeah, but look, so this would be my perspective on it, because I hear what you're saying.
Where do you put Orlando in the pantheon of the Eastern Conference after this trade? To go from a 500 team who couldn't win a first-round playoff series, adding Desmond Bane.
Are we assuming that they're healthy?
Yeah, we assume everybody's healthy.
That's the assumption,
Other
right?
than Jason Tatum's the only guy. Well, and Lillard, who we know.
I put him in Detroit, Milwaukee, New York, maybe the Knicks, and next year's Boston team, and Cleveland. I mean, I kind of put him in the mix, is what I do with that
as a team that could legitimately win the Eastern Conference.
I don't dismiss the idea completely.
Okay.
I think the East is... I think Indiana should come back as the favorite, is my 2 cents on this, okay? I don't know if they actually will in Vegas, but I think that team coming back after getting to back-to-back conferences and pushing the Thunder in the finals, they deserve that kind of credit. After that, I mean, Cleveland's not going anywhere, and they're going to be good again. But nobody... Do you trust Cleveland? I think people are going to go...
I trust Cleveland to be a very good regular season team. I don't trust them in the playoffs, but
okay.
I trust them to be a very good regular season team again.
So after that, who do you trust?
I trust that the Knicks will be good. How good, I don't know. I don't really care who their coach is. I think they'll be fine.
Okay, so your read on Desmond Bane, who, by the way, is an all-time great, looks like he's 6'2", but he's like 6'5".
Yes, much bigger than he looks.
He's just he's like built.
Also, buff guys shouldn't be able to shoot. It's kind of a weird anomaly.
Also, really good defender.
Yeah.
You know who they didn't have to put in this trade?
Who?
Jalen Suggs.
Hey, there you go.
So I think it's kind of the perfect sweet spot for Orlando. They get a good third player who's going to be very good as a ball handler perimeter guy, and they get to pair him with another dog on defense in Jalen Suggs, who you hope stays healthy, because if he's out there, that's a good defensive team. We actually know the numbers for them. They're good defensively. Their problem was offense. And look, we can talk about this angle of it because I think it's worthy of conversation today. We assumed they were going to take our offensive bucket getter.
We did.
And they
Wouldn't
said...
have cost you 4 first-round picks,
no,
that's for sure.
And they said, no, we'd rather pay more to get that guy.
Yeah. That
should tell us something. I think Desmond Bane, I think this puts Orlando in the mix, and I'm not saying he's as good, okay? So let me get out in front of some of this stuff. This guy's a better player. In terms of impact and turnaround, I think he has an ability to add to Franz and Paolo and hold this for the old takes exposed. This could be a Brunson, New York turnaround for Orlando. I think they could suddenly burst onto the scene and have people talking about Orlando and going, oh, man, Desmond Bane was really good at basketball. We didn't know it because we didn't watch a whole lot of Memphis basketball last year because they weren't very good.
No, they haven't been good for a couple of years now.
Desmond Bane's a very good basketball player.
Yes, he is.
I understand the all-star argument. I'm not going to argue that with you. You're right. He doesn't have one. But to pair him with those two dudes, I think this is a really good... I thought this was a really good trade for Orlando.
Yeah, I would just look at it simply that I don't disagree with the idea that I appreciate teams that are aggressive. We dealt with this a lot in Portland in the Lillard era, that they never tried to do anything, and they just kept the roster as is, and let's just, hey, next year it'll work out, and next year it'll work out, and next year it'll be different, and it never was different. Anybody with a brain could have seen year in and year out that nothing was going to change in your circumstances. I guess the issue that I have with it's not that they didn't get better. They unquestionably got better. I think it's a question of how much better did you actually get? Do you truly jump into the upper pantheon of the Eastern Conference? Because they were a 500 team this year that was in the play-in. So are you legitimately like a home court advantage team? Are you better than Detroit? Are you better than Indiana? Giannis, it doesn't seem like it's going anywhere. I know Dame's going to be out, but he's still one of the best players in the league. Boston will be banged up next year, but they're still going to be relevant and still going to be good. And Cleveland's not going anywhere, and that's not even considering anybody else that is around them in the standing. So that's the first question I have. And then the second that I have is, and I think smaller market teams at times struggle with this, and it's the idea that we're so desperate to go get somebody that it becomes an overpay to a point of what is your next move? And that's a difficulty that I have with it. So you can say that we got to get used to trading all these first-round picks. I understand it. I don't know if they had any other options. I know Anfernee Simons wouldn't have gone for 5 first-round picks. At least I hope Cronin's not asking for that. You just used up a huge chunk of your capital for the next 5 years to go get Desmond Bane, who is a good player. I'm not disagreeing with that. But if you're coming up short next year, and then you're maybe a second-round team and you get bounced, and you're kind of hitting your head against the ceiling, where is the ability from a asset standpoint to go get better because you just used a lot of your ammunition.
Okay, so I guess I have a team building question for you because we're a small market.
We are.
You have largely criticized this franchise locally of not being aggressive. I kind of don't know what you want. I don't know what you want small market teams to do. They take swings that they think is going to change everything. We were talking about the Siakam trade, and they traded multiple firsts for that and had to pay him, and I didn't see anybody coming out and saying NBA Finals championship-worthy type team.
Yeah.
But in the moment, some people were saying, overpay.
And maybe part of it is that I just think Siakam maybe is a better player. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but I put Siakam in a different category than Desmond Bane.
Well, Siakam is accomplished, more than Desmond Bane. I'm not arguing. I'm just saying, I guess what I'll ask is this going into the break. One, the Portland impact of this of Anfernee Simons now, is that going to be the extension that they're going to announce? Or is there a trade destination that even exists for him now? Because Orlando was the team. And the second thing I'll ask you, and listeners can chime in on this, what do you want small market teams to do? Because I feel like I'm hearing it from both sides. I feel like you're playing you're not being aggressive. And then when a small market team's aggressive, you're saying, you're being too aggressive. I don't know what you want small markets to do in the league. If I'm a Magic fan today, I'm waking up ecstatic. My team cared. My team is all in. They trust the dudes they have. And this guy is going to help in an area that specifically you need in this league. And we didn't have it last year.